Hello everyone, welcome back. Listen, there is a lot of beauty influencers online. It's great, there's room for everyone. Here's the deal though. One thing I have noticed is through beauty influencers trying to educate people on the better practices for makeup, an easy way to do something, a way that maybe makes blush placement more understandable, overlining your lips more understandable, how to stop under eyes from creasing more understandable. They kind of overcomplicate things. I did a reel on Instagram, like a TikTok, about this, and I'm gonna include that advice in this video also for those of you who aren't over on those platforms. But sometimes makeup is just not that deep. Listen, yes, as a professional makeup artist, it does annoy me when people are like, it's just makeup, or makeup has no rules. As I always say, creativity and individuality have no rules. Do whatever you like with makeup. However, makeup and makeup artistry does have a theory. That's how people have built their careers on it. Sometimes we don't need to be as precise as you need to be backstage at Fashion Week, on a shoot, on someone's wedding day, on your clients. Sometimes we just want to get our makeup on for the day, right? But also do it in a way that looks best on us. So I'm gonna share with you some things today that a lot of influencers kind of overcomplicate, that doesn't need to be that complicated for your everyday makeup. You're just going to work, you're just going out for dinner, get it on, make it look the best it can. We can look deeper into face shape, all this kind of stuff. Lighting, seasons, later on down the road. But we're going to talk about these today. And the first thing I want to start with is kind of a beauty industry problem in terms of brands. And it's also kind of a product that influencers try and create by adding things into their foundations and stuff like that, which in turn ruins the formula, ruins the finish. And that is tinted moisturizers, right? Now, in my mind, and nowadays, a lot of the products that brands bring out in terms of tinted moisturizers aren't tinted moisturizers. They are just lightweight foundations. If we want that tint, that sheerness that I know you are all looking for, it's like you're just tinting your skin. You don't want your face to be covered with product, then I want to introduce you to this product. This is from a brand called TYPOLOGY, who have very kindly sponsored today's video. And you know, I have worked with them before and I adore their products and have spoken about them quite often. And this is the one we're going to focus on today. This isn't makeup, this is skincare. This is a tinted serum. And this is where I think a lot of brands are going wrong. And a lot of influencers trying to achieve this look, like I said earlier, by mixing moisturizers into their foundations to sheer it out. You just need one product. You don't need to do all this stuff. You just need the one. I'm going to use a few TYPOLOGY's products throughout this video because they are stunning if you want no makeup or you want to add something extra to your makeup. If you're looking for that no makeup look, but you don't want to feel heavy with makeup, you just want to even out the skin tone, this is the one. As I said, this is tinted skincare, so it contains incredible skincare ingredients that in turn make the skin look amazing. You have vitamin C, which is going to brighten, squalane, which softens the skin, it fights dryness, and aloe vera, which is one of my favorite ingredients in general because the finish it gives to the skin, it helps to combat dehydration, which is different to being dry. You can be oily and have dehydrated skin, but while also softening the skin, so in turn you get this beautifully smooth finish to the skin. As I mentioned, finding a product that is truly, in my opinion, a tinted moisturizer or a tinted serum in the makeup world is very, very difficult because they don't exist anymore. They are all just lightweight foundations. So turning to the world of skincare and tinted products is the best way to go. Now, I'm going to use shade T12 and I'm literally going to use my fingers to apply this. It's going to be super, super easy. Now, if you haven't heard of TYPOLOGY before, they are a vegan and cruelty-free skincare brand and their products are formulated and manufactured in France. The whole aim as a brand is to only keep the essentials in their products, meaning that over 80% of their ingredients are of natural origin. And you'll notice that all their products as well come in recycled and recyclable containers. So that's an added bonus. The texture of this, as you can imagine, is very lightweight, serum-esque on the skin. It's like you're tinting your skin with water. It is beautiful. And TYPOLOGY have very kindly given us an amazing offer. If you click the link down below in the description box and make a purchase of over $40 or more, you're going to receive a free purifying mask with charcoal and organic nettle. The mask is a fragrance-free, very rich balm. Again, I'll leave that link down below in the description box for you. And I'm also going to leave a link to all the products used in today's video also. Okay, so the fix to that tinted moisturizer situation is to lean more to the tinted skincare situation because, as I mentioned, brands went through this whole thing of giving us tinted moisturizers that actually were just extremely lightweight foundation. They don't do the same thing. A lightweight foundation is still going to give you medium-ish coverage nowadays. It barely gives you light coverage at all. So to save you from adding in your moisturizer, shearing it out with a spray, doing all this other stuff, just get a tinted serum. Okay, the next thing we're going to touch on that I think influencers overcomplicate quite a lot because they're always trying to come up with a hack or one of these to talk about blush placement. Blush placement can be complicated, and it can be as complicated as you want to make it, or as technical as you want to make it. Let's say not complicated. You can absolutely go with the highs and lows of a face, you know, where you want to add depth, precision, all this kind of stuff. And you can change the shape face quite drastically with blush, contour, and highlight, but we can do it a very simple way for people who struggle, who don't know where to place all these products. There is a very simple way. It doesn't have to be that deep, but it can be. We're going with the not deep option today. Okay, so very quick lesson, right? So we're going to do two ways. Do you want to lift and lengthen the face, or do you want to cut off and round off the face? People with longer faces tend to want to like equalize it a little bit by cutting it off, and people with rounder faces kind of want to even out their face shape by lifting. So it's up to you which one you want to do. If you have a heart shape, a square shape, do whatever you want to do, but here's how you achieve those looks, right? For a longer and lifted look, everything we're going to apply is going to go at an angle, but we're not going to go past. If we imagine an invisible line here, we are not going past that line with any of our product. Highlight, contour, bronzer, blush. It's all going to start about here and go down this way. We're elongating the face like stripes and clothing, right? This way makes us look wider. This way makes us look slimmer. Not the best color on me. Okay, you can see it, right? So we're tucking our bronzer down here. Our contour would go even further down than that, but I have a beard, so you can see it's very much a line like this. I'm not going to blend it in too much so you can see everything. A bit of blush, and I'm just going to slightly overlap the bronzer. And again, I'm going to do quite a lot just so you can see the direction I'm going in. And I'm leaving space up here for our highlight, okay? And we can bring this slightly round, but again, we don't want to go past here. And of course, I have a beard, but what you would be aiming to do if you don't have a beard is to fade it out around this area. And we can, of course, go back in and add a bit more bronzer if we need to. See that shape, right? I'm going to go in with the Glow Drops from Typology. These are stunning. We're going to stay in line with this angle, but you know I like to catch the light and place a highlighter there. So I'm not going to go this way. I'm going to kind of lean this way. There you go. There you go. And just tap that highlight into those areas. Highlight doesn't always have to be top of a cheekbone, you know? Highlight to me is just a beautiful glowing skin wherever the light captures it. And that can be in this area, and it makes our cheekbones look like it's pointing down just a tiny bit more. So we have more of a longer face that way. We've left this area free, and I'll mattify it afterwards because it gives more of an even longer result. For other people with longer faces who maybe don't want their face to be as long, our bronzer's gonna go here. And we're going to go more straight across, and I don't necessarily mean in a straight line. We can curve, kind of where you would almost go under your cheekbone, you know what I mean? Again, I'm going to do quite a lot of product so you can see. Blush, again, overlap the bronzer slightly. Now, we're not going to go above here. We can take it as far in as we like. But if we go any higher, we're going to lift the face and elongate, right? And then to highlight, I'm actually going to just go where you would typically a highlight, you know, like on the top of a cheekbone here. Okay, and there are your two different sides. We have a rounder face, like which side is it? Okay, two sides. We have a more rounder face because we bought this in here, and then we have a longer elongated face. We could even highlight this area with a lighter concealer or something to make it look even longer. It's that simple. We don't need to panic too much. We don't need to do too much, you know, placement, whatever. In your mind, you know this. We know all this. But sometimes we can be like tempted, swayed by the stuff we see online, the hacks, you know? Let's talk about under eye creasing. There's so many different things going on with under eye creasing, right? People are saying like, wait this long, tap out the creases, go in with all this stuff. The key to under eyes not creasing is hydration, not powdering and setting. We can add powder, we can, but not too much, not too much. Very, very simply, hydrate under the eyes. Here's what I'm going to do. I've used an eye cream, and I've actually taken some of that serum up to the under eye area. I'm going to use a product now that locks in moisture. This is from a brand called Jungse, which is a Korean brand, and this is called the Essential. This is the wrong one. I have two. The Essential Mousse Stick, sorry, which is this one. This basically locks in moisture, right? You put it on top, or you put it on top before makeup. It can give you a glow to the skin. I'm just gonna use it under my eyes. We want to keep the area not over hydrated, so we don't want to go in with heavy creams or thick oils, but you can use cream and you can use oil, but just a tiny amount at a time. So I'm literally taking some of this stick and tapping it under the eye. There's a few reasons our under eyes will crease, right? One, because it's skin and skin creases. Makeup can't tighten the skin completely so it doesn't crease, right? That's why it creases in areas of movement by the mouth, on the eyelids, you know, on under here. And we all have natural kind of creases under the eye. That's just skin, right? But what we're not gonna do is dry it out even further than it already is. Our under eyes aren't necessarily like flaking off dry, but they are drier than our eyelids, right? We need to treat the two completely different for makeup prep. Eyelids need to be waxier, no grease, no oil coming through, whereas under the eyes needs to be a tiny bit more hydration. So my under eyes are hydrated. They don't look overly greasy, they don't feel overly greasy, but there is an element of hydration there. The good thing about using this stick in particular, and it doesn't have to be the stick, there are products that lock in hydration also. We've just locked it in with this, right? Now, concealer. And I'm going to do the usual. A dot here, a dot there. Blend it in. And this will be the same if you're using color corrector, right? Color corrector goes on first in those little areas, and you can tap it in and blend it out. Small amount at a time, just like any makeup product you can add, but you can't take away without ruining everything else. Now, I've seen people recently doing this trick where they kind of like pull up the skin with the bottom of their thing and then tap in the product. You can literally just look up and tap. Give it a few minutes to sit and do and be. Gonna add a little bit more here. Gonna add a little bit of concealer to these areas. Concealer done. Give it a few minutes. I'm just gonna sit here and look over here. Okay, now I'm gonna check under my eyes. I can see a tiny bit of like movement there. So I'm just gonna tap it in. Eyeshadow blending brush in a little bit of powder. Tapping off the rest. Down and up into my mirror. Done, that's it. Smooth concealer. And throughout the day, if you start to notice creases, all you have to do is take your finger and tap. It doesn't get rid of product. It doesn't do anything. It's fine. You can even take your concealer and just tap a little bit on. It's so much easier to repair under your eyes if you don't use too much powder, because you can add concealer back on. You know what I mean? Let's talk overlining lips. Let me want some lip balm. I got this lip balm in Greece just from this shop because my lips were falling off. It's really good. Two things. I'm just like this. Doesn't need to be that hard, right? I've seen many things of people shutting their mouth like this, overlining. Some like comedy ones, but also some people being deadly serious. Again, yes, there are different ways you can make the lips look. You can do more Bratz type lip. You can do something like that. An easy way to go with your natural lip shape and not overline them to a point where you can visibly see a whole line around your mouth is to contour and highlight your lips. All you need, darker lip pencil. This is one from E.L.F. It's one of their cream glides. I don't know the shade. And then a lighter lip pencil, right? So I think I'm gonna go for, I'm gonna go for one of my AMUSE lip smudgers. This is in the shade, no, it's not the shade I'm vegan. This is in the shade Rose. And they're basically like thick lip pencils. That look like this. So the idea is a shade lighter than your lip, a shade darker than your lip, right? So we'll go with a shade lighter than, let me check if this is actually lighter than my lip though. Yes, okay, so a shade lighter than your lip, literally follow your lip line, like so. Only on the bottom, go a tiny bit over the line of your natural lips. And can you see? That's all I've done. This is gonna create a ridge on your lips. If you have a deeper skin tone, those kind of hazily brown lip pencils with a tint of yellow to it would look stunning. Actually, a color like this would be really good. This is my deeper one, and I'm literally gonna go under my lip, right? So I'm gonna start in the middle, and I'm gonna hold a pencil and angle like this. If we go like this, we're getting quite a harsh line, whereas we go like this, we're using the very tip of a pencil. I'm going quite strong so I can show you the placement, and then we'll blend it in. Okay, like this. And you can see I haven't gone right up to the corners of my lip. I'm almost cupping the bottom of my lip. And on the top lip, we're going to do exactly the same on a Cupid's bow. So I'm just going to tap away any excess lip balm. Create that highlighted ridge, because when we highlight something, it sticks out, right? And same with contouring the lip, we're gonna just cup the top of a lip. And then you can fill in the outside corner a tiny bit if you want to, you don't have to do that. So that's a placement. Obviously we don't want it to be that drastic. You can use colors that are a little bit more subtle. I'm just gonna use a fluffy eyeshadow brush. So this is flat, but has this like fluffy tip. And I'm gonna blend out underneath that contour. You would have used a shade that wasn't so drastic, so it'll be easier to blend out and it won't leave quite a strong shadow. Blend out the top here. And it's okay if you blend everything together, as long as you're keeping it in line this way and not going up or down. So immediately we have a fuller looking lip because of the depths of this. Again, doesn't have to be this deep. Add the Plum Purple Lip Oil from TYPOLOGY. Add a bit of a gloss, a glow, and you can take it a little bit over the lip line so you still have that plumpness. Now that one may seem a little bit more overcomplicated because you're doing a few different steps, but it's literally line, 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 blend. You can even blend with your finger. It doesn't have to be as slow as the way I just did it. It can be literally, like I said, smudging it. As long as you have that depth underneath and a bit of something brighter, it works. Okay, well, I hope those tips kind of helped you ease your mind when it came to maybe things you've seen online and been like, why does it have to be so complicated? Why is makeup so complicated? Because sometimes it's not when it doesn't have to be, right? Thank you so much for joining me. As I mentioned, please do check out that link down below for that offer from TYPOLOGY. Thank you to them for sponsoring today's video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.